Hey fellow filmmakers, I'm Anthony with PremiumBeat, and today we're talking about audio. Basically, I want to give you a few tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way that have really helped me step up my game and really improve my projects. So let's get into it. For tip one, we're going to start at the beginning, and I'm pretty guilty of this myself. When we're getting into the nitty-gritty of a project and we're super excited about it, we spend a lot of time and attention on what it's going to look like. The cameras we're going to use, 422 this, RAW that, the lenses, the grip gear, the gimbals, all the exciting stuff, but often we forget about the audio. And it's not until we get into editing that we remember, hey, something's pretty important here. So what I want you to start doing is start thinking about how audio is going to impact the project in the pre-production phase. Think about kind of the mood and style that you're going for. Is this going to be really dialogue heavy? Then obviously you're going to want to spend a lot of time and attention recording good dialogue. Is this going to kind of be a lot of scenes that no one's really speaking, but you really want to bring the impact of the environment? Then record a lot of location audio and sound effects. How's the music going to be used? Really think about and start planning how audio is going to be used in the project well in advance. It's going to save you a lot of time and effort in editing when you're trying to put it all together. For tip two, even if you've done all the pre-production right, sometimes it just doesn't come together in the edit. Let's say you've got this really cool scene cut together and you've dropped in a few music tracks, but nothing's quite working. You've tried silence too, but that obviously isn't cutting it. What I want you to think about using is audioscapes. Audioscapes are a cool audio tool that isn't quite music, but obviously isn't silence. They're basically these really cool looped audio tracks of simple instrumentals that you can lay under your track that really help supplement the image. It doesn't overtake it, and it isn't like this music that you're gonna remember the scene for, but it really just adds this really cool, unique atmosphere that you might be going for. So here's a little scene I cut together that uses music, silence, and an audioscape, so you can kind of see the difference between the three. Here's silence. Here's the scene with some music. And now, using an audioscape. The audioscape really isn't overpowering what you're seeing, and it's just kind of subtly boosting the mood of the scene. I think it's a really cool tool a lot of people aren't using and really gives that cinematic feel that you might be going for. Last but not least, this is a problem I see with a lot of newer filmmakers, or people who've kind of hit a plateau or ceiling with their storytelling, is they've got good audio, they've got their dialogue and the music they want to use, they drop it in their timeline and they kind of just set it and forget it. This is where I feel like I grew a lot as a filmmaker. Is once I realized that you could really use audio and effective storytelling, adjusting the levels, using it in transitions, it really impacted my timelines. As an example, here's an opening shot of a documentary. We really want to establish kind of the tone and the location that we're at, so we recorded a lot of audio on location. And once we get into the edit, we found some really simple music and brought that location audio up quite a bit so it's more present to the viewer. Once we get into the interview sections of the documentary, we really want that dialogue to be the most prominent portion of audio in those scenes. So what we'll do is we'll fade out the on-location natural audio that we recorded, and using keyframes in the levels, bring down the music just a tad so it's underneath the dialogue. As a rule of thumb, you can start anywhere between -15 and -22 decibels. It really just depends on the song, but that's kind of a nice starting point. You definitely want to listen to it to see what it sounds like in the scene.
The playground outside currently it's been there a long time.
Once the interview scene's done and we want to transition into the next on-location scene, we'll basically do the same thing in reverse. We'll fade out the dialogue just so it's not a hard cut, and bring up the music using the keyframes and the levels, and then slowly transition in the on-location audio. Even though the image might have a hard cut here in between the two scenes, the slow and gradual audio transitions that we use really helps mask that hard cut and easily flows into the next scene.
It seems like they choose to run more than anything out there.
Once I started using audio adjustments in my projects, I really noticed my films had a more cinematic and professional feel. It's not obvious at first that maybe this is what your projects are missing, but once you start including it, it really makes it that much better. Well, that's all I got for you today. I hope it was helpful. I hope it helps you improve your filmmaking. And if you have any questions or you want me to expand upon anything, please leave it in the comments below. And until next time, I'm Anthony with PremiumBeat.